5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Hey, welcome back to Go Get Your Shine Box. This is Jim. I'm with Joe and Paul.
Aloha, Jim. Aloha, Paul.
That background has a bit of foreboding to it. And speaking of aloha, I have more contact from a follower here, a listener. And this guy's name is Mr. Scott. He says, tell Aloha Joe that a Gabbard/Crenshaw ticket is a possibility. Veteran leadership is the way forward is the slogan, also known as communism meets corruption. So I'll just leave it at that and leave you to pick up which one is corruption and which one is communism.
Yeah, that's a little loaded. No pun intended.
Never Crenshaw, okay? Never Crenshaw.
Oh, you're a never Crenshaw guy, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's the corruption one, just to be clear here.
I'm going to have to go with that one. These guys, the injured vets, if you will, they come off, as a particular stereotype, and when in fact they aren't necessarily that at all. So,
well, if he was a good soldier, he wouldn't have gotten injured. He would have walked his life.
Okay, Donald.
I'm not sure how that's how that works there, buddy. But
he got captured.
He ain't a good dude. But,
yeah, I was saying that in jest. That was
I know. Now playing off the foreboding tones. This being from Spirit in the Sky. You guys all know where you're going when you die, right?
Yeah.
All right. Prepare yourself. You know it's a must.
Yeah.
Got to. I say got to.
Get your white hanky.
Have a friend in Jesus. So you know that when you die, he's going to recommend you to the Spirit in the Sky. Just putting that out there for all our listeners.
This is the author or the artist?
Yes. That is Norman Greenbaum.
Yeah,
the famous Christian author of Spirit in the Sky, Norman Greenbaum himself.
Yeah, definitely
a long line of Christian Greenbaums. He comes.
They're converted, but that's okay. Yeah, grab that off YouTube. We were going to play a little bit of it, but we'd get ding. So we don't want to go there. But anyway, yeah. So that intro was a little different. Speaking of getting dinged, we don't know. We don't know what YouTube's going to do when they're going to do it. If it's a strike, a ball.
Why do we care about what YouTube thinks?
Well, I don't know. We're just playing nice, because we don't have the FU money yet. That's why.
That's right.
Once we get the FU money. And then, then we could do every other day. We can do a 5-minute snippet on how bad YouTube sucks, or whatever.
And speaking of FU money, make sure to hit the like button if you haven't subscribed and you like what you hear. Please subscribe, share it with your friends, and you can go to our website at
10mmm.org.
You can look over what we've got listed up for there, and there's more coming every day and week. You can buy us a cup of coffee or scotch or whatever you like.
Technically, it's buy a cup of coffee, but we can do anything we want with the money.
Technically. I mean, I'm taking some liberties here.
Yeah, that's definitely liberties. So, but back to the music. That was from the X-Files, and we promised last week we were going to do something a little bit different. So we kind of broke it up into, came up with this topic, and lo and behold, as we were discussing the topic over the week, we had all pros and no cons, or all cons and no pros, depending on how you look at the title. And basically, this is dismissing the idea of extraterrestrials. I don't believe in UFOs, that type of thing. So
Well,
And-
I don't know if we should tell our story before we do anything, or what is your opinion, Joe?
You can tell the story if you want to, but and I can verify it. But it's a little weird, but I still don't believe in UFOs.
Oh, you have a story?
We have a
Yeah.
story.
I
The
think
we-
And-
is it a we
you
story?
probably heard it before.
The Hooker Man story from Hoboken?
Not that one.
And you're not talking about the illegal aliens from Guatemala.
Nope, not that one.
Not that
All right,
one
go
either.
ahead, Paul. You tell.
Well, I actually have more than one. I met a guy. I met a guy once
All right.
riding my bicycle to Chester. So
Okay.
you can imagine I was,
Yeah.
I don't know, 14, maybe.
That's a long ride.
It's a long ride, but we used to do it when we were kids, and, we weren't pussies back then.
No.
And I meet this guy, older guy in his 20s probably, and we sit down, and he has this Grolsch. Turns out it's a lid from a Grolsch bottle. You know what I'm talking about, with the wire and the
that
gas.
ceramic cap.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he just has a ceramic part, and we used it as a sort of.
I'm afraid to ask.
Well, you know what we used it as a roach clip holder thingamajigger.
Right.
And
So you'd put cigarettes in there, right? That you found on the street because you weren't allowed to smoke them.
No, it just so happened that this gentleman, had a
Yeho?
yeah, he had one on him,
Okay.
and then he proceeded to tell me the story about how he met an alien who gave him this Grolsch.
So it was a special
Yes.
Grolsch bong.
But getting a little more serious, Joe and I, one night, we were probably, I don't know, late teens, early 20s, down at, I'm guessing it was probably Seaside, Lavalette, something like that.
Mhm.
We're going out on the beach, either partying or surf fishing or something like that.
Let's just call it surf fishing.
Okay. And we look up, and there's these three lights. All right.
What? Three chicks.
Three lights.
Three lights.
In the sky.
Gotcha.
And they kind of come together in a triangle.
Yeah.
And then they rotate for a while. All right.
And when we say rotate, picture the three lights that are pinned together like an isosceles triangle,
Yeah.
just turning
Okay.
ever so slowly. But
Yeah, as if it was corner lights on a vehicle of some sort.
Yes.
Right. And then it stopped. And then they took off in three different directions, equidistant,
Mhm.
bang, like that, 1,000 miles an hour.
Quickly, very quickly.
So that actually happened. We both remember it separately. And I still don't believe in UFOs, even though there is some sort of psyop going on to, I have my opinions.
Well, the funny thing is, actually UFOs, that was even changed to, from unidentified flying object, because I see those constantly. I see an old gray-haired lady in a 1968 Chevrolet. To me, that's a UFO.
Right. I was just going to say that I believe in UFOs, unidentified flying objects. You see them all the time. It's the extraterrestrial part I'm having a problem with.
Well, that's suggested by the term. You know what I mean? UFO is just a colloquial term at this point. That encompasses everything.
Yeah, it's a Q-tip of the cotton swab world. Yeah, but getting back to the extra testicles, as Cheech and Chong used to call them. Yeah, I saw some extra testicles. They didn't look like they were from outer space, but I was born in East LA. So anyway, that's my Cheech. So yeah, back to the actual extraterrestrial, the lack of concrete evidence, which sounds like I'm playing Mr. Obvious. The lack of concrete evidence is the problem. Reports, sightings, but no concrete evidence of extraterrestrial life. Nobody, other than the Epcot, the Area 51 nonsense, and who they have in a cocoon, or who they don't. But there's no. It kind of reminds you of the so-called missing link. The evolutionary link. You can't prove it. There's no. If evolution was actual, there has to be some sort of intermediate physiological example of that. So with all our technology, and you could even link this up to the Loch Ness monster. With the technology we have now, we can't find anything. You can find a guy.
Lake, right.
You can find a guy that took a selfie of himself in front of the Capitol on January 6th, but you can't find a monster in an ocean or
in a lake. In a lake.
Yeah, in a lake. So anyway,
all right. You know what? I got to stop you here. All right. The elephant in the room needs to be addressed here. Talking about UFOs. We don't believe in UFOs. All right, let's put that on hold for a second. A former FBI official with ties to the investigation of the alleged Russia scandal has been charged with a crime. All right, that's what we need to be talking about.
Okay. All right. You're just going to throw our entire game off, right? Because you got a headline.
Well, you know what? It's not just a headline. This is like for all these anti-Trumpers out there and all these Russia people. This is like, what is this? Help me out here, Paul. This is
I mean, the grown-ups don't always get their way here, dude. Man, come on.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Well,
Charles McGonigal, 54, former head of the counterintelligence for the FBI New York office, is accused of secretly working with Russian billionaire Oleg Dorot, whatever his name is, Desperata.
Let me dig something up here. Hold on, guys. Let me dig something up. I know you're putting me on the spot, but let me hang on.
Well, I got the DOJ.
Former head of counterintelligence for the FBI's New York field office is now being charged in two separate indictments. Monday, Charles McGonigal pleaded not guilty to violating U.S. sanctions, conspiracy, and money laundering for working with a Russian oligarch after he retired from the FBI. Now, McGonigal is expected in court in Washington on Wednesday. He is accused of concealing hundreds of thousands of dollars he got from a former employee of an Albanian intelligence agency while he worked for the FBI.
Holy crap.
Right?
Yeah. He's not the only one. His I think it's the FBI interpreter also. Sergei
Shostakovich, whatever.
Well, I was hoping she'd clear up some of the Russian names now that you're murdering them.
Sergei Shestakov. Yeah. Former Soviet Russian diplomat who later became a U.S. citizen, conveniently. I mean, that's easy to do these days, I guess. And then he settled in as a Russian interpreter for the courts. Yeah.
And curiously, he was arrested at JFK just coming back from Sri Lanka.
Yeah,
he was probably on a peace mission.
Everybody vacations in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, anybody heard anything going on in Sri Lanka lately? I mean, didn't they just collapse from following the World Economic Forum fertilizer guidelines?
Sorry, you're no longer allowed to use fertilizer. You're one of the most impoverished countries in the entire world.
Yeah, wasn't that Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, it was not only was it Sri Lanka. I think it was other parts, some of the Scandinavian countries as well.
Yeah, they're doing it in Netherlands as well. Yeah.
But so unbelievable.
There's something you forgot to tell us about this not Oleg Deripaska, but McGonigal. What else was he involved with there, Joseph?
Well, the Russia hoax. He led the charge over there.
No, wait. There's something else though. But there's more.
Oh,
wasn't he directly involved in the raid on Mar-a-Lago?
Are you kidding?
No.
I thought he resigned before then.
Well, see, this is where this is why you guys threw this at me. Now I'm trying to get my facts, and I apologize.
I don't think that, but he's like, he goes way back. I mean, he's let's see, While serving as chief of the cyber crimes in the FBI headquarters in D.C., he was the first FBI official that was made aware of the allegations of George Papadopoulos, and
Okay.
that information launched Crossfire Hurricane.
Oh, I know why. I know why Jim was thinking that, because the same guys who did the Crossfire Hurricane, all that crap, also were used to go do the Mar-a-Lago thing. But I think this guy himself retired before
Gotcha.
that.
All right.
That's where I think you're getting
Yeah, I
the
probably picked that up
cross
from
lines.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his department or unit or whatever did do the Mar-a-Lago thing. Yeah.
It's
I'm reading.
Dirty.
McGonigal helped spark the FBI's investigation into alleged collusion between Trump and Russia. Okay, yeah. So once again, this looks like, are we the baddies? So
Yeah.
they were doing something that they accused us of doing once again. And this guy, was it too much for me to suggest that he was acting as an agent?
No, that's exactly it. Not
The same thing they got Mike Flynn on?
Not only was he acting as an agent of Russia, the other FBI agents were acting as agents of Russia. I mean, this is insane. I mean, and this is stuff that's easily proven. What we're going to do with this, and when I say we, I mean the people that have power to do something. I don't know, but I hope that these people get crucified, because that's what they need.
Well, it's funny because I heard about this, but I didn't pay too much attention to it until you brought it up. But there was a clip from 2017 when he was talking about doing particular things with other countries, and how, because he's counter intel and trying to decipher who's an actual agent of the, acting as an agent from the United States to a foreign country. So he was back while he was doing this. This is classic today's Dems. While he was doing it, he was on the lecture circuit telling people what his job was in trying to catch people that were doing this. So this is, right. And you know what they say about corrupt law enforcement. There's, if you're a thief, you're a thief. If you're a cop and you're a thief, you're the worst kind of thief.
Yeah.
I couldn't find out exactly who this was, but I have to keep looking it up. But there's an ex-CIA officer compared.
Yeah, I'm grabbing bits and pieces, on the fly, and apparently McGonigal previously led FBI investigations into Chelsea Manning and Sandy Berger, or as we know him as Sandy Burglar.
Oh no, yes. Sandy Berger documents down your underpants.
You remember Sandy Burglar? Yeah, the one that went in the skiff, and stole, and I believe ended up doing some time for that. And no, I can't sub-reference because it's been a while.
But he was compared to a Russian double agent. Is that basically what this asshole was? Basically what he was doing. It's just crazy. And look at after the what was it?
Wow. Yeah, I'm reading
after the Mueller report, right? So the Mueller report was, this guy set everything up for the Mueller report so that Trump could be investigated, and after the whole thing was gone through, he was found. Yeah, there's nothing here, but he did try to obstruct the investigation now. So in 2019, the Mueller report determined there was no evidence that the Trump campaign did anything wrong. But he did attempt to obstruct the investigation, and Papadopoulos, whatever, he spent 12 days in jail for lying, and Paul Manafort, he went to jail for, they just tried to find anything that they could that had nothing to do with what they were investigating while they were investigating.
Sure.
To try to screw everybody they can to the boards.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? Sandy Berger, who took the documents, he pled guilty to a misdemeanor. He got 50,000 and 2 years probation, 100 hours, no jail time.
50,000. That's like taking $5 out of your wallet.
Yeah, stripped of his security clearance for 3 years. Stripped. Okay. Well, not only that, but he was involved with China getting designs for U.S. nuclear warheads. Did you know that?
That's treason. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that it was a Clinton thing that they allowed the Chinese to get that technology. I didn't know Berger was part of that, but they're all. Well,
it's an incestuous mud heap of inbred nastiness.
How about this? A Truth Social post. Trump said the FBI guy after me for Russia hoax. Long before my election as president, was just arrested for taking money from Russia. Yeah. May he rot in hell. Yeah. That was Donald Trump.
What's going on here? The witness subpoena says prosecutors are also looking into whether McGonigal has ties to Bosnia-Herzegovina government and whether he received payments or gifts from governments from Kosovo, Montenegro, and Albania. This guy is freaking super agent. Oh, and when I say super agent, not secret agent, he's just taking money from all these freaking places.
And this like you said,
whoa. The FBI searched Deripaska's 15 million. Oh, Deripaska. Okay. I'm like, I was going to conflate that with the other guy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you probably will be able to by the end of the day.
Well yeah. He only has a $750,000 West Village apartment. So.
Oh yeah. No, that's like a freaking efficiency.
Yeah. Of course, all FBI agents got $1 million New York apartments, I guess.
Yeah. And both of these guys pled not guilty, of course, because even though they're guilty of sin, they've got the money and the means to fight this and to drag this out in court and to cost the taxpayers millions and millions of dollars just to prove these assholes that are guilty.
Yeah. What do you think the FBI is going to do? They look like bad guys with all of this stuff. They're going to do their best to get all of this. They'll have a headline, and then the word's going to come down. Look, make this go away. I don't want to hear any more about it.
Yeah, and when you start putting these pieces together, this Deripaska guy in 2021 was investigated by the Department of Justice for money laundering, threatening the lives of business rivals, illegal wiretapping a government official, and taking part in extortion and racketeering. There's a freaking RICO case here.
What's he think he's a mafia or something? This guy, he better find his place.
Well, they come over here from freaking Ruski, and next thing you know it, they're in bed with Russian, with the FBI. And if he was being investigated in 2021, and he was an associate of McGonigal back then, McGonigal, we'll call him McGonigal for now. I don't feel like saying his whole stupid name.
Dickhead. Just call him Dickhead.
Yeah, this is crazy. And Paul's right. I hate to say it, but this is probably good thing you brought it up, Joe, because I bet this is going to be a flash in the pan. Quasar, we're not going to see anything else out of this,
Well, also getting back to what Joe said, there are two guys. I think Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan.
Trey Dowdy.
Trey Dowdy's a freaking talking head, and I don't think he's a good guy, Trey Dowdy.
Really?
Yeah, he's either controlled opposition or
he's out of the business right now anyway. So he's just a pundit.
Right. So. He's a talking head now. But I'm suspicious whether he was ever anything more than opposition.
Well, anyway, we go on with the two.
These guys are starting up a committee. I can't recall the name of it, but they're going to investigate weaponization of the FBI and so forth. So, I don't know. Matt Gaetz is the one who put the freaking vice grips on McCarthy's nuts. So
you heard his press conference, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh man, that's definitely worth listening.
Oh, McCarthy's. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I said, if we had any inclination, we would have grabbed that stuff. But bits and pieces.
No, but you wanted to do UFOs. I don't know.
Hey, people love UFOs, man. They looking for that green people to come down and save them from all the craziness or something. I don't know.
Right.
But we can do some more of that next week. I don't want. I swear. Years ago, I did a whole thing on the Fermi paradox, and I did a freaking deep dive on it, man. And this is like this is for smart people, you know. So,
Well, if we can get back to UFOs now that I got this off my chest.
No, because now you got me intrigued. I'm looking at this guy at the district court magistrate that I guess was at the arraignment, where did the arraignment. It was a Zoom arraignment, video conference, whatever. Pick your flavor. And see, this is the part that drives me crazy. He was allowed to remain free with orders to surrender his passport. Okay. And not seek replacements, okay, and restrict the U.S. travel. This is.
I don't think Russia would have a problem with him coming into the country. What do you think?
Well, the problem is he doesn't need. If this guy is doing what he's doing, if he's this guy is a classic nefarious individual. He doesn't need a passport to travel.
Right. He's got a private jet. So
and I have to link this back to these poor schmoes that decided to take selfies on Nancy Pelosi's desk on January, whatever the frig. They're still rotting in some cases in solitary confinement.
Not to mention the people that didn't even enter the building that got penalized very heavily.
So look at this. One thing we learned from COVID, from the COVID that they perpetrated upon us to make us freaking to crush us. I don't care what anybody says. That'll probably get pulled too from, COVID was a bioweapon that failed. It was designed to crush us.
There you go, anyway, YouTube. We're done.
But anyway, we learned a lot from that. Okay, it didn't crush us. We learned a lot from it. We exposed a lot of lying people. We exposed a lot of education problems. It was a blessing in disguise, just like the Trump administration.
Oh, Joe, I gotta just slip something in here. Hold on.
Let me finish this. Let me finish. I got a thought.
I'll forget it. You just talked about the COVID.
I'll mute you.
Kathy Hochul, right? She is refusing. You cannot get reinstated if you're not vaxxed. Even the court said she can't do it. She said it's too bad. She's doing it anyway. All the health workers that have been laid off, they can't get reinstated if they're not vaxxed. She's hanging on to that. All right, go ahead. Go finish what you were saying.
No, I forgot what I was going to say. And now you got Kathy Hochul's face in my mind.
And that ain't healthy for anybody.
And I rather look at Nancy Pelosi's face than her face, which is yeah, exactly. That's how bad it is. Kathy Hochul, if she got any more freaking facelifts, okay, her chin would be on the top of her head.
Yeah, that is a harsh looking woman.
Disgusting. She's disgusting. She looks like she could be probably, I think she went and got her eyes done the same place as Pelosi did. They're disgusting baby eaters. But anyway, yeah, back to you thought I really lost my train of thought, didn't you?
No, I know you better than that. Go ahead.
Back to Trump's 4 years, we learned a lot about that. We would have never, you and I, all the three of us on this call, we'd still be, well, maybe not Paul so much. We'd still be shouting red, white, and blue and respecting law enforcement and FBI. Like, these are J. Edgar Hoover. These are the guys, They're all a bunch of scumbags. And let me tell you something. If you're rank and file, okay, maybe I'm on a little roll now, but if you're rank and file, even in the Army, and you take a bad order from somebody, you take an illegal order from somebody and you execute it, you are one of the baddies. That doesn't make you one of the good guys. So all these idiots out there saying, well, the Hannity's out there. Oh, the rank and file. I know a lot of good FBI. Yeah, I know a lot of freaking, good whatever. It's the whole thing.
You just caught yourself.
Yeah, it's a rotten basket of apples, and the entire basket needs to be thrown away. I don't care what you say. First of all, the FBI doesn't belong in the United States. Okay, we don't need. I believe it's unconstitutional to have a federal police presence. Every freaking state in the country has its own state police that can do what the FBI can do anyway. But my point is, two huge things that happened over the past 6 years: the Trump presidency and this COVID, which was a failure from their point of view, exposed stuff that we would have never imagined to a level we never imagined.
I think we got COVID because of Trump. I think they released.
I was going to say I think COVID could have been a reaction to Trump.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the kind of thinking I like. That's deep conspiratorial thinking that can be proved.
Well, that is a theory that maybe they weren't quite ready. but they had to do it to get rid of Trump, blah, 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 these sort of things. So, hard to
for
know.
sure. Because they, and I've said today, somebody was asking, it was a Truth Social thing. Maybe it was a poll or something. Why are the Democrats so afraid of Trump? Well, the answer, first of all, you can never answer the question. You always have to deviate. Otherwise, you're just a dope. The Democrats don't fear Trump. They fear Trump supporters vis-a-vis Americans.
Yeah.
Because they've demonstrated over the past, very, very clearly over the past 2 years, they have no consideration for the Constitution, not the First Amendment, not the Second Amendment, the Fifth Amendment they love. And then, we can go down the list. I'm not going to waste
Amendment
time.
either.
No. Forget about that.
I want to say that was awesome, Jim. They don't fear Trump. They fear Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Well,
they fear the people.
I think they did fear Trump as well until they
realized they loathe Trump.
Well,
they fear us.
They feared him enough to, do what they did to General Flynn, to a bunch of his other guys. So they did fear him. But think about this. We're both, the three of us, we're old. We're 60.
Hey.
Thereabouts. Some of us are younger.
Hey, what's going on here?
Never in my lifetime did Reagan, I guess you could throw in there saying that he did change the world by pushing the Russians, but it's possible that was going to happen organically anyway.
Yeah.
But nobody has changed the world. Never mind just America has changed the world. Imagine any of the things that we now know, and go back, 7 or 8 years to right before Trump came along. We miss how much things have changed, and he did that with his personality and his words and charisma and so forth.
Well, yeah, and the sad part is when you say stuff like that, it's an admiration to a degree, but of course we're so divided now. Everything's black and white. There's no meeting in the middle. There's no kumbaya. So as soon as you say, yeah, look at the facts. Look what Trump did. Oh, he's your messiah. You're a Trump tard. You're a MAGTard. Whatever. It's just got to be this ballistic, over the top rhetoric and this fomented hatred.
I don't. At this point, I really don't care. In my opinion, there is no unity with these people. There can be no unity. There should be no unity, and I have no problem imagining a future where, we'd be standing upon a mountain, not scattered or piles, a mountain of skulls.
A mountain, you said? A mountain, right?
A mountain.
Mountain, okay.
Like a mountain?
Like a mountain. Like a mountain.
All right.
Did I get the point across? A mountain? All right.
This aggression will not stand, man.
Yes. I was afraid you were going to say a mountain of bodies.
Yeah, but a mountain of bodies, I'm not sure, know.
I'm just saying this because that's the guy that has to edit this stuff. I get a little nervous sometimes.
But skulls is okay, right?
I think skulls is okay.
All right.
Yeah. Skulls, children's skulls.
Well,
oh, geez, see, that's what I'm talking about. Now I have to make a mental note. All right, this was 33 minutes and 51 seconds. 8 heads in a duffel bag, I definitely get your point. I mean, they've proven. Look at Atlanta, okay, and Little Antifa's got their heads bashed in. But that being said, they were also allowed to come in, tell you on social media that, hey, tomorrow night, boys and girls, put your little black faggy hoodies on.
Yeah,
because we're going to go burn down some Atlanta stuff. And they came in and successfully smashed police cars. And let me tell you something.
And they before they did it, they let them know. By the way, on Tuesday at 12 o'clock, we're coming in. Yeah. Come on.
So for all I know, that the Atlanta cops put out ghost cars just because they needed to get rid of them. But the point is, you can't. Like I guess this is dovetails with what Paul's saying. you can't give in and allow that to happen because the world sees that. And these people, these little kids are maggots. They all come, roaches. They all come out of their mommy and daddy's houses from all over the country, and they go where they're told. And they see this, and they were allowed to firebomb a police car. And I don't care if it was a ghost car or not. You just embolden these idiots.
Well,
So
they arrested like half a dozen people or something.
And they're all white.
Oh, white. Oh.
They're all white. They come from well-to-do families, and they all look like they haven't bathed in a week. And they listen to what's that idiot grunge guy from the.
I don't know.
Well,
anyway,
you've got the Antifa is the white army,
right,
and the BLM is the black army, and they're both tools of the progressive Democrat.
They're the progressive militia. There's no doubt about it.
Could you imagine if we were like, we went to war with them? They would fold and run and scream back to mommy and dad.
It's funny you say that, Joe, because yesterday's coverage, I'm sorry, over the weekend, the Atlantic coverage there was actually some Democrats saying, it's violent, but it's violence against property. Is that really violent? I mean, it's really violent. I mean, it depends on how you defend violence.
Yeah, your definition of violence, right?
But remember, and I'll go back to that. Remind me, but remember Kyle when he, granted, I don't think he should have been walking down the street with a AR, but whatever. He self defense. He smashed these guys. That was a federal case. That was a world case. That went around the world.
Let's include that in the numbers, and then we got Antifa / BLM is, I don't know what, maybe 30 to 40 kills versus
in 2001. Yeah.
Well, over the past few years.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Versus the good guys, which I will put Kyle Rittenhouse. God was with him. I don't care.
Yeah.
No 17-year-old. He's too dorky to be that good. You know what I mean?
Good observation. Yeah.
And he had his gun destroyed afterwards. Yeah.
Smart move. That was smart on his part.
Huh. He had the police destroyed.
Yeah, that was good PR. Okay. That's exactly what he should do. He'd just do exactly what. Remember the what's the Puerto Rican Jew that killed the black dude in Sanford up the street, down the street. What was that case? Remember the guy was on it. The black dude was beating him up, and he shot him with the Kel-Tec.
I don't remember.
Anyway, don't do what that guy did. But yeah, Rittenhouse, he's doing the right thing. Take the money and run. But anyway, I was just going to kind of wrap this up by saying, I was talking to Joe about this earlier. This redefinition, this use of words, and people aren't going to agree with me necessarily. This started under the Clinton administration. Bill Clinton put the black eye on the White House. Bill Clinton made the office of the presidency of the United States a joke. And I'm not going to get into the specifics. He's the one who came out publicly in defense and actually said like a fool, because this is what a sixth grader would say. What? No, I'm sorry, a 6-year-old would say. It depends on what the definition of is. He was the catalyst. He was the starter of this manipulation of language and how you can get away with murder, how you can get away with everything, being pushed by his witch Marxist wife behind him. God knows what damage she's done, but that's where this started. Obama, I mean, he's a trained Marxist tool, but I truly believe the decline of this country that we know, and I'm not excusing the Bushes, but he's the one who made it public. He's the one that made the White House look like a freaking dance hall, and then it went downhill from there. That's my opinion.
You up on these shootings in California?
Not a whole lot.
There's too many of them.
Well, the one of the latest ones was committed with an assault pistol.
Oh, geez.
Guy has a Cobra, 9mm Cobra. What is it, M11 or something? I think I know somebody who has one with the fake can on it.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Assault pistol.
Yeah.
Just looking up here. Are we allowed to say gook?
It depends on if you're saying that the stuff in the bottom of the pot was gooky.
Okay. I'm just looking up the definition here. Anyway, it seemed to disappear, the story that is, as soon as we found out that the guy who killed all the cooks
was a gook.
Was a cook himself.
Oh.
Well, no, gook is isn't that like a North Vietnamese gooks,
yes,
right?
But we don't.
What's going on here?
We don't use that word because it's bigoted and.
No.
The correct nomenclature is I believe is Asian American now.
No, look, Asian American is one thing. North Vietnamese were gooks. Okay. I'm sorry, but if that's offensive to anybody, I don't care. I'm not folding on that one.
All right.
Yeah, I hear you. But man, I'm sweating. Sweating like a hooker in church. Anyway, all you guys and gals listening, this was supposed to be about UFOs. Thanks, Joe.
Listen, you want me to talk about my Wilmington story or what?
No, we're gonna bow out of this and
we'll have to do the UFOs another time because I don't want all that time I wasted on the Fermi paradox to go down the toilet.
We can put it in we put it in the this will come out wrong, but we'll put it in the can and open it up next week. So,
all right, go ahead, Paul. What were you saying?
I said something? No, I'm just talking about I didn't want to waste my time. No, I was going to say, and Jim throws up the outro music there.
Yes, please.
Okay, I got enough work cut out for me here.
I know. All right, guys. Well, hey, you know what? Good turnaround. I mean, let's face it, news is news, and we needed to cover it. Where we found it. So.
Getting back to the topics, throw up a suggestion. I think we're going to be talking a little bit more about World War III before too long. That's just
wow.
That's
the
just
Germans in the tanks. I'm telling you.
We got plenty of stupid and evil people.
Yeah.
And incompetent, stupid, incompetent, and evil, and that's a bad combination.
Yeah.
Do you think Germany is a little close to Russia to be sending tanks?
I don't get it. And even the Polacks are like, yeah, we got some tanks. We'll send them.
Well, the Polacks are freaking crazy. I think the Polacks. My guess is Polacks want half of Ukraine. Germans are like, man, we don't want any part of this, but somebody threatened them. I've heard that they maybe were threatened with, blackmail or something. Blackmail pictures,
That could be, but this is just we'll delve into it and be a little more prepared. But all right, fellas, I'm bowing out. Say good night.
Good night, folks.
Good night.